Master of the Fifth Tower. Bradbury's disappearance. Right. Pepin Polo. We're gonna be heading toward the crossroad keep. Yes, wonderful. Now look up a bit and give me just a hint of a pout. Perfect for that pose. What's going on here? Bad time, terribly busy. If I look away, I'll lose the moment. There, you see, just a glance at you and... By the golden hills, my lady, thou art a vision. Uh, what did you say? Yes, your eyes, pale like a fall of water over rocks, a naive smile, a generous mouth, yes, and that artless tumble of hair, so untended and yet so real. My lady, you are the very picture of pastoral beauty. Is that a compliment? My lady, I must take your likeness. I insist upon it, as a matter of honor. My future as an artist lies balanced in your shapely, ever so slightly callous hands. Um, I'm not sure whether to agree with him or attack him. I don't mind. Do what you want, Chandra. Well, alright, but I get to look at it first before anyone else sees it. Wonderful! I shall begin at once. You there, clear out of the way. Hey, what's the big deal? Big idea. You're supposed to be painting me. You said I was the very model of womanly mediocrity. And indeed you are, my lady, indisputably so. Now shoo, artistic priorities have shifted, and one must always obey one's instincts. Go on, out of the way. Now, Chandra, if you'll step over this way and hold your head just so, a hint of a smile, but enigmatic. Yes, that's wonderful. There, not another stroke of the brush. My dear, I have captured your very soul and made of you a goddess of field and sun and gentle breeze. Wow, I don't really look like that, do I? I will buy it for you, Chandra, if you like. No, 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 you don't have to do that. Please, really don't. Yeah, she doesn't look that good anyway, unless you squint. Leave it, I say. Lost influence with Nishka. I fear I could never part with such a painting for less than 300 gold. Understand, I could get far more from a collector, but since your friend is the subject, I feel obliged to discount the price. Yeah, I'll buy it. The portrait is yours, milady. Ask only that if anyone admires it, you tell them my name. This poor gnome is in your debt. Thanks for the gift. I really appreciate it. That was really kind of you. Hmm. Portrait of Chandra. What the hell is this worth? Masterful portrait of Chandra Jiro by Pepin Polo. Hmm. Not sure I see the usefulness, but a couple of hundred coins is nothing. Influence loss to Nishka bothers me a little bit, but it's not a massive loss. Crossroad Keep. Um, I'm going to Port Last first. I want to wrap up a quest I have from there. It should be a simple thing as talking to someone. Ooh, I might as well talk to the mayor of this town too. He said to come talk to him later, after I've been cleared of the murder. I wonder if he has something for me to do. Door is closed. Answer is no. We're just going to report that we found one of the... What did we find? It was a miner. Some companioned cleaner. My pardon, but do you have any news of Bradbury? I found his body inside a cave in the Duskwood. How many times did I tell him Ron should always be tempered by caution and wisdom? I'll miss him, even if he was a fool. I'm sorry for your loss. We who carve and cut stone are well acquainted with loss. Always quickly it comes, a fall of rocks, a misplaced step, but you are kind to offer comfort. What will you do now? Without Bradbury, I do not know. I will stay here for a time and look for work. If I find nothing, I will have no choice but to return alone to Amn and to my father's employ. If I hear of any suitable opportunities, I'll be sure to tell you. In Amn, a coin in the right pocket is all that is required to secure a contract. Here, it's all about who you know. Yeah, we got 1,000 experience points out of that, so it wasn't a waste of time by any means. Anywho, Crossroad Keep. There should be a detachment of other troops there, so we don't have to fight alone. It also very likely means there's going to be some kind of a group fight going on there. Which is fine. It's the same symbol as in the crypt in Blacklight District, only much larger.
The chamber is ready, Master Garius. The ritual may begin whenever you wish.
Very well. Where are the Shadow Priests?
They took their leave, Master, once they were done preparing the chamber for the ritual.
Deal with them when we are done here. After this night, we shall have no further use for them, or their King of Shadows.
It shall be as you command, Garius.
Then let us begin the ritual. Order the rest of the Brotherhood here at once. After all, we wouldn't want to keep Neverwinter waiting.
That farmer, they didn't even bury him. They just left him for the vultures. Why would they do this? It's monstrous.
He'll get a proper burial once we're done here.
Thank you. This poor man deserves as much.
I'm with the many-starred cloaks. This way, quickly, before you give us away. The Luskins change guard shifts around this time, moving men in and out of the keep. We can't waste any time. We were able to translate some of the writing in that journal you recovered from Arvon. And if we're right, something very bad is taking place in there. I recommend we strike hard and fast, hopefully taking them by surprise and disrupting their plans.
What are we up against?
Around 20 Luskin soldiers in the courtyard, most of them asleep, and a handful more inside the keep. The Arcane Brotherhood wizards will be more of a challenge, but we can handle them.
I take it you've done this sort of thing before.
Luskin sends in spies all the time. We're very good at removing them.
I see. Let's get to it then.
Looks like there's still some time before the next shift change. So let's sit back and let them sleep a little longer, shall we? It's time! The Luskins are opening the doors. Ready?
I'm ready. Stay close and follow me.
Time to finish this.
We have overwhelming numbers here. The guards aren't anything special. Ooh, it's nice to see. We've they're living bodies instead of bags of items. I don't get why that's a thing. I mean, I recall an interview about one of the developers who said they didn't like the bodies turning to bags of items and things like that, and so. Actually, you want to use this. You have corpses and you can easily see are they lootable or not. But for most part so far, we've had corpses just disappearing and turning into bags of items. So I guess what I don't understand is why both things happen. If you don't like the bags and you have a corpse system, why aren't you just using it then? Is it somehow too demanding or troublesome? Why didn't you just settle using the bag system, go all over the place? It is one thing that Bethesda, no, these are not Bethesda games, Jesus Christ, Obsidian games are, I would say, infamous for at this point, is that I don't think they have a good management for their developing their games. The games are fine, however, there's always a serious problem with the games coming out very buggy. It's not just the bugs. The problem is there's usually a decent amount of cut content too. I mean, a serious amount of content. It's I think it's a symptom of not being able to manage things properly. I mean, you're not able to set up how much your team is capable of doing. It's a shame because if you would, all of that cut content, or most of it, would have been instead focused on making the existing game better, you wouldn't have the huge bug problem Obsidian games are infamous for, at least some of them. Use your resources effectively. I guess Knights of the Old Republic 2 is the, at least for me, what I think is the most famous example. Decent amount of cut content and totally broken endgame when the game first came out.
Time to finish this.
Maybe a healthier approach would be have a core game and storyline fully finished before you can start expanding on it.
The doors! Get to the doors!
We're under attack! You men, get back in there and seal the doors!
Two-handed weapon, magical.
Rally to me! Push these dogs back!
Luskan Captain. I've seen the proper, I suppose, I don't know what you would call it. So knowing what you can, knowing your capabilities, I suppose, your limits.
Don't make this
Some Kickstarter game developers seem to be better at it. I mean, they have basically an idea for a core game that they know that they can do, and then asking additional resources to expand on it. I guess sort of that sort of approach to some extent might be good. Have a game and storyline and events, places that are mandatory, that are totally necessary for a cohesive and enjoyable story. Damn it, Nate, Saban, I want those doors open now. Sorry about the delay. They should only take a moment. It's alright, battles are usually unpredictable. Well, we're being counter-spelled. I don't think we're going to be able to open the doors from this side. Wonderful. Looks like the Brotherhood has a few tricks of their own. Well, it won't save them once we get inside, trust me. Alright, backup plan. I know this keep has an escape tunnel somewhere. I want you to find the tunnel exit and use it to get inside the keep. Once you're inside, kill whichever wizards are countering our spells so we can open the doors. The tunnel entrance would be in the mountains, far beyond these walls, where the invaders would be unlikely to look. I will mark the likely region on your map. I'll go and have a look then. Make it fast, Lena. It looks like the weather is about to turn against us.
time to finish this.
Don't really know enough about game development to really comment. But it seems to me that the approach where you would try to have the core system, naturally you have to have some kind of a plan before you start developing. So you don't have to waste time, at least that much time, during that phase to basically start wondering what exactly do we want to achieve with this system and that sort of thing. If you want to do additional planning, which you probably must do, I mean, you work, you reevaluate, you work again, and that's sort of a cycle. So you can't just make all the decisions up front. You have to expect some changes.
Yes.
Maybe it's a problem with inexperienced game studios, and it gets better with time.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't have a manager that's very experienced, I mean, knows the team, knows what can be done and what can't be done. Knows that you need a certain amount of time simply to do these things.
I'll take the lead.
And that's it. Knows their limits. This is a good blade. Bastard sword. So it would require exotic proficiency. Sonic damage +2 and confusion 2. Nothing else is incredibly expensive. Maybe it's if you try to do over-ambitious things. You sort of overestimate your abilities to implement things. Don't count for unexpected troubles that might pop up. So you're constantly behind schedule. Or maybe you're working as part of some kind of larger publishing organization. So you can't influence things to that extent. I mean, you have a deadline, and even if there's some unexpected trouble popping, you can't really influence it anymore. So you're just going to have to ship whatever you have at that time. I don't know. It's just unfortunate. The end results haven't been exactly shit. What's there is usually fairly good. But there's always trouble. Tunnel entrance. And our group apparently has rested. No, you're not all done. What the hell am I casting? I'll save some of the buffs. We're not in the keep yet, but just going into the tunnel. Okay, that should be enough.
Time to finish this.
Maybe with the age of DLC, the trouble could be mitigated to some extent. I mean, you can, if you have a significant amount of content cut out, you can just add it in a DLC to make it more appealing for people to buy. It's better, I think, than an expansion system, because expansion, while it's, well, technically it's basically the same, but the expectations for expansions, I would say, were at least a lot higher than for a DLC these days. DLC allows you to deliver smaller packages that are, and because the pricing doesn't have to be, I mean, you can sell very cheap stuff because you can sell them electronically, distribute them electronically. And you actually had to give some kind of a CD or a package or a DVD for everyone who bought something. You can't just sell a totally worthless piece of shit to them. It has to be worth it. I don't think it can. Not necessarily worth it, but it's going to cost some to produce and distribute and store and whatever. So you have to have a package that has a decent amount of price to it. Otherwise, it's not worth distributing in the first place. With DLCs, it can be basically totally meaningless addition, and it's still worth distributing. I'm saving my spells. Ooh, fire beetles. Well, I'm basically gathering beetle body parts. I think that we can make alchemical components out of them. Turn them into essences. No, that's no good. You can't be our frontline warrior, Korra. I don't even understand why you're trying. She must have a spellcasting behavior mode.
Time to finish this.
Still, that's not bad. She should be able to cast freely with that.
Let's see what they're made of!
Ready to die?
Nope. I'll keep Quara in the current casting mode until we get to the crossroad keep, then switch that up. I have so many spells in storage that I'm sure I can handle Black Garius on my own, especially with the aid of these fighters. So even if Quora is spent at that point, I don't think it matters.
Everybody, follow me! Who's for a fight? Come on! Enemies approach. Be prepared. Yes! Gods curse you!
We're nearing the end. Bone Spider. Is any good? No. Well, it might be good, but it's not good enough. Short sword, icy blade. Captain Spear, bastard sword +2. Okay, this is seriously good
I'm
stuff.
overloaded.
Armor of Thorns. Spell scrolls. Bard spells though. Okay. +3 short sword with cold damage. Yeah,
Yes.
that is quite a bit better than what you have at the moment.
Yes.
Captain Spear, +3, +1 strength, stone skin 1 use per day, and divine damage bonus. Again, pretty good spear. Armor of Thorns, light armor, vampiric touch, +2 light armor. It's not bad, but it's not exactly good either. Still, 2 very good weapons. Crossroad Keep Interior. It's not a large place. Aldenon. Oh, I say, I remember you. you were the one with those interesting silver jars. Although I'm afraid I'm not certain if I introduced myself the first time we met. Did I? Yes, you did, Albanan. Excellent. Good to see I haven't completely forgotten my manners. Tend to be a little forgetful at times, you know. I'm aware. We're here to rescue you. Oh, yes, that's right. I was captured, wasn't I? Truth be told, I totally forgot about it. They gave me these tomes and some peace and quiet, and well, I suppose I just lost track of time. You see, these books, they're all concerned about some sort of horrific ritual. Something about bringing shadows and power to all the recipients involved. I haven't gotten all the details down yet. Wanted to do a thorough study first, but it all seems terribly threatening. Don't care for it at all. Sounds dangerous, and sounds like it needs to be stopped. Well, I don't know if they'd actually try to perform the ritual. If so, they'd best be careful. The slightest disruption could have lethal consequences. Mark my words, it always pays to triple check all your wards and postcards to prevent interruptions, if you ever plan to do something of the sort. You know, it does remind me of this one time where I had let my wards down to let a messenger in, and this kidnapper struck completely wait. Yeah, I need to stop this, otherwise he's going to keep going on and on about this. We don't have time. No. We don't have time for this. Well, now, I don't know if there's any hurry to leave, really. I'm certainly not concerned. And there's all these wonderful books. Granted, my captors may have had an unusual way of getting my attention, but they didn't seem to want to hurt me once they had me. They were quite civil. I need to find them and stop their ceremony. Oh, I doubt they're doing anything of the sort. I told them that it would be unwise. Might cause untold damage. Well, everyone except themselves. They seemed to agree and were quite receptive to my advice. You young people worry too much about your elders. We're not the ones running headlong into danger all the time. I'm going to run you headlong into a wall if you don't tell me where this ritual is and how to stop it. I think I would be a bit more diplomatic than that. They lied to you. Look, how do we stop this ritual? Well, stopping it would be easy. Simply do what you young people do best. Kick down the door and make a lot of noise, like my gardener after 1 too many swigs from his wineskin. Do you know where they might do this ritual? They would need a lot of room and privacy for the ritual, so I would simply find a large room with heavy doors and a lot of chanting. That should be the one. And I'm going to find them. Get out of here and warn Neverwinter. Well, alright. As long as I could come back later, you know. Save these books, I mean. They even have a copy of the Tome of Vile Darkness. I'm not saying it again. Go. Alright. I'll leave at once. This whole ruckus is probably about nothing as usual, just like my kidnapping in Black Lake. Yeah, he has his interests and nothing else really matters. Ancient Tome of Golemcraft. Probably useful. Running out of space quickly. Cool. Everyone, let's buff up. What is this? True Seeing. Somehow this is a spell. Yep. Well, now I do. Ooh, yeah. This is the stuff. Need to kill the casters. Oh.
I'm overloaded.
Wither stick. Ability to drain strength. I need to reduce the carry weight somehow. I'm going to turn a lot of items into essences. And then just transfer them to Kelgar. That should do it. "15 glowing power essences." Well, find Darius's ritual chamber and just interrupt it through any means. Seems simple enough. "You may not pass. Our king forbids it. Darius will be reborn this night. You will not delay me here. Show your weapon. Come forth, brothers and sisters. Help us in the name of your king." They had nothing interesting. Water door. What is that? It's got a lot of power emanating from it. Watch your fingers. A glowing door is rarely a good thing, I found. Then again, glowing doors usually guard something quite valuable, so maybe we could take a quick look. I'd watch it. I don't know what's wrong with that door, but it's either really good or, considering our luck, probably really, really bad. Let's worry about getting it opened later. We still have more fighting ahead.
Sure, I can do that.
Please.
Hells. Was that all right?
Time to finish this.
Cool. Golem. Brotherhood Journal. This doesn't look good. It looks like we finally have a decent fight on our hands. Bring that thing down. Not sure if it's really all that dangerous. Just these spells. So it has to be physical damage. Or magical. Okay, who was the dumbass that casted the freeze spell here? Another way, it's pretty clear that Black Gary is behind these door, reinforced door, and Blake Golem Glass cutting. So behind that door has to be the ritual chamber.